In trouble though?
For what? Putting Fortnite's logo behind you?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think they actually care. Like, I think even if you like lied and said you were sponsored by somebody, I don't think they usually care. You could actually probably just lie. You could probably just go out and start saying, I'm sponsored by Fortnite.
Free advertisement. Hey,
Yeah, it's actually not a bad idea. Yeah. Welcome, Dan Lee, to the podcast. This is episode 117 of Ruse Radio. Happy to have you back. Happy to have a fantastic guest back in the building. Tell the people who you are if they do not already know.
Oh, I'm Dan. I'm trying to be a comic. Yeah. Trying. I'm getting there.
Trying.
Yeah.
What does trying mean?
Doing my best to go to open mics. I'm currently there right now. Yeah. Trying. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
How long have you done it for?
It's only been like a year and a half ish. Yeah.
How many different mics have you because just in terms of like different venues, I mean, like how many different locations have you scouted out and went to?
Mic wise, I've been to a few. Yeah, but I don't think I've been to as much compared to like how, some of these other guys go out, right? Like I don't know, I do my best for that. I'm trying to get back into it more.
Yeah. How often do you go then?
I try to do like 3 a week.
Okay.
Yeah, which, I mean, there's some people that do like 3 mics a night.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get in there and yeah.
What would you
where it
rather
goes.
do? 3 a week or 3 a night? Like, do you see yourself doing it 3 a night, or are you happy with 3 a week?
I'm okay with 3 a week. I know I should be hitting the mics a little bit more. 3 a night though, that's like commitment right there. You gotta start early with that.
Well, literally, the last episode we filmed, Abigail Blaze, we were just talking to her, and she said that she 3 a night. That was her thing, and like someone told her that's what they did, and so she made it a thing to do. I don't think she said that. I think she said to do 200 episodes a year is what she said, which is still like, or not episodes, 200 open mics a year. Which, okay, like that's a number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. I could.
Like 200 open mics is a good number. That's a good number to go for.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's people that could easily hit that mark right there. Man.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot, though. It blows my mind people do it. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's not nothing. Like, I mean, you'd have to be going... If it's 200 a year, I mean, that's actually not so bad. If you're going at least 3 times a week, you'd probably do it, right? Almost. You're almost there.
3 times a week, 156 a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's got to be more consistent.
If you,
with that.
4 times 50? Yeah, you're already past it with 4. So if you just threw in one more open mic a week, you're already doing 200.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and like, how much have you learned throughout the experience then?
One thing I've learned, it's easy to come up with stuff that you think it's funny, but
Yeah.
remember, only you think it's funny now until others start laughing. That's the hard part, man. Yeah, just making people laugh with the stuff. Because when I first did it, I didn't really I don't know, I just said a lot of weird, messed up things, and people were just laughing because they were uncomfortable, right? And then that gets old, I just... Yeah, started thinking of stories. If people seem to like it, that's where I try to put jokes in those right there. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So were you telling stories at first or no?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it was just like a story, and I just hope for the payoff to be at the end of it. But then now it's now some stuff people like. It's like, all right, you got something with that. Now it's time to make that funny, right? Like, write jokes there, That gets hard, but, that's why there's open mics, though. You could try it out, any open mic. Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, open mics are different all over the place, too. So I imagine, like, when you try it out one place, you got to try it out this other place, and you got to try it out. Like, you end up trying out these ideas at different places and getting different feels for it, too. Mm-hmm. It would... Yeah. And so... is that how you got started? Just by going for it and just going to those open mics?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was. I thought about it for a long time before I started. I said, "All right, let's give it a shot." And yeah, it was pretty scary feeling though, man.
Had you already went to them before you went on stage?
It's just an open mic, like
Like,
no.
have you
Like,
never
it
even
was
been in
about
the
a year and a
environment?
half. Not really much. I mean, I've been to like comedy shows, and I always watch a lot of it on like Netflix. But yeah, actually going up there, man, that's first time you do that's a pretty like exhilarating feel, you know.
Yeah.
And then more and more you get used to it. So it's like you're at a mic and no one laughs. It's like, okay, either maybe it's not funny or make it better until people laugh.
Do you record your sets and all that to try to?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it's like a friend that would show up and they'd record it for me and then send it to me. I'm like, okay, maybe we can give this a shot. But then there definitely are times you can go like 3 days in a row, right? People laugh at it. Then you go to like another mic and boom, no one finds it funny.
Really?
Yeah, like an entire thing. Yeah.
Huh.
And that it sucks when that happens, right? At first, like, okay, you're trying this stuff out.
Yeah.
People really seem to like it, right? You keep doing it, then you go to another new mic and nobody laughs at it.
Yeah.
But
And like, how does that feel? Like, what do you think in that moment?
I just feel like, man, I guess that's bound to happen.
Yeah.
We have a pretty diverse group of people in the city,
Yeah.
so everyone can, yeah, it's definitely an environment thing. Maybe it just works there, and then maybe you should be saying it in other places. Yeah.
And
Or
maybe that's the
get it.
lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you just have to kind of say certain things at certain places. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that is kind of how it goes in comedy, right? Like, even the stuff you say here wouldn't work if you went somewhere like, I don't know, New York or Austin, Texas. Like, all these places have a different type of it would work, but not in the same way. And I'm sure, like, you learn that traveling the country for all those traveling comics. Like, the stuff you say around the country is not quite the same. This just has to be the truth. There's no way what you say in Florida works in LA and also in Texas. There's just no way. Everybody's humor's got to be a little different than that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, what is your ultimate comedy vision? What do you see? Like, do you see like Your Name in Lights and you're everywhere? You got all these specials. What do you see in the future?
Oh man, right now I'm just trying to think of the next step.
Yeah.
Right now, yeah, that's like getting booked, and then start doing small sets and see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I imagine like getting booked is what? Just knowing people, or is it going to open mics? How does getting booked happen?
Yeah, there's plenty of producers all over the area too, right? They'll check you out at mics
Yeah.
too, and then that's how they, everyone does networking like that. Or it's like you film your sets and you send it.
I see. And there will be like ways to contact these people and such, and then bing, bam, boom.
A lot of networking, but yeah, I mean, it's actually that's why mics are the important thing. You meet a lot of people there, and then just ask questions to them, right? And they can lead the way. That's how it was for me, because I remember signing up for a mic, waiting in line, and then I see like there's like a lineup with these comics that are performing, right? And I was just like, how does that happen, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't really look it up online, so I just started asking around like the people in line, and they kind of told me what's up with that. They're like, oh, it's always good to record your sets. If you think you got something good, send it to a producer, right? It's always good to show up at other people's mics, just really talk to people, get to know them, and even like just support their shows too, because a lot of these producers that that set up shows all over the city, right? Like, go there too, give them support, right? And it becomes a nice community where everyone wants to, help each other out with that.
A community is how one grows. It's how one makes their mind expand and how they become a real professional mind blower. You don't just blow minds overnight, folks. You got to have some help. You got to have some people who show you how it's done. And that's what's so great about this comedy community, as Dan Lee has just said, is that there are people who want to see you grow just as they want to see themselves grow. And that type of mindset is beautiful. And I think, again, it's how you make professional mind blowers. It's how we all get better together. Professional mind blower, we're selling t-shirts, $25 for a shirt, okay? We got smalls, we got mediums, we got larges on deck. If you want a different size, just let us know. We'll make it happen. All right, the link is in the description for all of that if you want to do that, if you want to support the show, if you want a professional mind blower t-shirt. If you don't want a shirt, but you still want to support the show, the best way for you to make that happen is the Patreon, folks. $5 a month, the price of a coffee, the price of a beer at the bar, and you make Ruse's dreams come true. I love doing this show. I love having people in this space. I love learning from them. I love highlighting their beautiful talents and their beautiful, unique intricacies. We are all unique in our own way. We're like little snowflakes, ain't it so beautiful? And the fact that I can bring people in and talk to them is a miracle in itself. And if you support us on the Patreon, you're letting me know that you like that you want to see some more of that. So let's make miracles happen. Let's hear a little bit more about the miracle that is the Chicago comedy scene.
Yeah, and it is like it's a community of its own, it seems like, too. Like, people know each other, everybody kind of knows everybody in this weird way. Like, it's I feel like there's a big spider web of people throughout that whole community. Like, it's because it's so much like that. It's so much of this culture of going to all these open mics and being there all the time, and you end up seeing the same people inevitably. So one thing that's what I've learned through doing just so many of these Chicago comedian podcasts is like it's very an interconnected network. Now that I know enough of you guys, I'll go on Instagram, and whenever I find a new person, it's like the same 50 people I follow now also follow that person. That's how I know they're a part of that community.
Definitely.
Because everybody follows everybody and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
and that's a good thing. It's a really good thing to have, I feel like. I don't know if it's so much the same in the other major cities in their like comedy culture. I don't know if LA is quite like that, or I don't think New York is quite like that from what I hear.
Yeah,
Maybe it is.
And I'm not sure.
I don't know.
How it's out there, yeah.
Because there is a community.
Oh,
here.
yeah. And it's huge out in those cities, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
The energy's different everywhere, though.
Definitely.
Like with what you can say with jokes. I'm sure the whole energy in the room is different in New York with like a New York comedian and how that goes. There's probably way more opportunities for open mics, though. They have to be real common since the city's so concentrated. They have to be so easy to find.
Yeah.
I mean, even here, they're not hard to find, but there, it's got to be crazy. I wonder about that all the time. I mean, even other cities. Like, I wonder about L.A. Go to an open mic in L.A. Is it super easy to find? If you were out visiting, try to go to an open mic or something. Other cities, like, what's another good one? I don't know. Miami. You're in Miami. Is there an open mic you can go to in Miami? Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
Actually, I see it in the Facebook groups all the time.
Yeah.
Whenever somebody, is from out of town, they actually will post there, say, hi, are there any mics available tonight? And boom, they get responses.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that'd be the way to do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's like kind of just going back where everyone just, they want to like help each other out again, right?
Yeah.
And Facebook helped with that.
Yeah, really it did. Yeah. Facebook and like Instagram helps a lot with keeping people closer together. Facebook and Instagram are probably the two major ones for that. Those are the two big ones everybody seems to use. Like if I say, hey, here's my Instagram, most people would have an Instagram. So Facebook too. But everybody doesn't use their same, like if they have a stage name or whatever. Like it's harder to find people on Facebook than Instagram, I've noticed. At least in like the comedy community. I've noticed more people have Instagrams than Facebooks I can find.
No,
if that means anything.
It's cool for Instagram when you want to post like, I feel like just like videos and kind of like just like some like comics with their, like upcoming shows.
Yeah.
Lists of that, just because you can post photos like that and...
I think it reaches a broader audience on there too.
That and like I don't know actually.
Yeah, I like Instagram.
I see it. No, I mean I see it on both social media since I'm always on those all the time. So it's it's just kind of like one for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are probably the two main ones I use. I used to use TikTok a lot more, and now TikTok kind of scares me. I get on there, I'm like, I can't do this. I can waste so much time. I won't remember a single thing I saw. I can't.
I was thinking a different
There's
reason
another.
of why. Like,
There's a couple ones.
I was like thinking, is it because TikTok's like owned by China or something? Or is that even true? For some reason I never even like looked it up. Is it actually owned by China?
Oh yeah, it is.
Or is it just owned by like I don't know? Is it owned by a company where the owner is Chinese? Like I don't.
I think China made it, and then it's here in America, and like China has a different version of it. So like their version is not like America's, where you can see everything we can see. It's more like educationally geared. I'm pretty sure that's. What it is.
It's like a brainwashing.
Well, in what way?
I don't know. It's like instead of just having a bunch of kids like forcing them to study with like someone in the speaker yelling, study hard, get good, like educate, like it's more like the new modern day form of brainwashing using TikTok, right? I mean, TikTok stuff has like ruined our brains.
Yeah.
Hasn't it? Like, we got short-term memory loss now?
Yeah. I don't even know, dude. TikTok is we'll be examining the effects of TikTok for a good long time.
Maybe that's scary about TikTok, right? Because we don't have a limit when we're scrolling that. So,
yeah.
I don't know, man.
And it really is it mastered the art of doing it so fast because you just can scroll and see a new TikTok so quickly. I have a friend who I remember like the way that he does it is he just have his phone there and he just flip. Oh, flip. Like he it was crazy.
Oh man.
He was brutal. He did not like any video that did not appeal to him within 0.1 millisecond. But it's just so much all at once. Whereas like other things aren't quite like that. And that's why TikTok I kind of stay away from. Instagram I like because I think Facebook's more geared towards family and like you can kind of post business stuff and you can do okay on Facebook, but really Instagram is easier to work with.
Yeah.
TikTok's really better for business too, I think even than Facebook. But it's just so much. So yeah, I like Instagram. I've been trying to get more into that one, dip my toes into Instagram a little more. Snapchat. That's a fun one. You wouldn't expect Snapchat to be as effective as it is.
Okay.
People like Snapchat. Like if you just put your Snapchat up or like you add people on Snapchat, if I post on there, it's a good like 50 to 100 people that always look at my story on there. And I've gotten messages from people on Snapchat that I haven't gotten anywhere else. Like people saying specific things to me because they only see it on Snapchat. That's the only place they'd see your stuff.
Yeah.
Some people are like that. You forget. Like that's really why you should be everywhere. You should post all the places. YouTube is my place, dude. I'm always on YouTube. So it's kind of like it's a no-brainer. And I feel like comedy, if you're okay with posting your material, you could get away with a lot of content on YouTube.
For sure.
Yeah, especially you're doing so many open mics. I mean, it's not even that hard. You just film one set, film all three, and then just pick the highlights and then just post those. And you always have another clip every couple days. So, yeah.
When you, post your content out there, you said so Snapchat, like best reaction?
Well, there's just an interest. It's different. I would say it's different because some people only use certain things. So, like, I have had people reach out to me on Snapchat and say, like, yo, this is fire. Like, yo, keep going. Like, there's one guy recently who was really cool because he left, like, a little, he left a message that said, I think it was a voice message because I recorded it. And he said, yo, I've been listening to your shit for a while. I used to not really fuck with it, but now he said I used to high-key hate on this, but now when I listen to it, like, I'm thinking these are actual bars. And he's saying he used to not like it, and he had me on Snapchat probably for years. Like, what I'm thinking is he's probably been looking at my music for the last 4 years thinking this guy sucks. And then eventually he came around, and that's what he messaged me to let me know. Okay. And that's just because he saw my stuff on Snapchat because I've been posting on there for so long, which you wouldn't even think. But because Snapchat, you would think it's just kind of a thing that random people would see. But I mean, you can get a lot of people through that. And again, some people just scroll on Snapchat. That's their one place that they scroll throughout the day. They don't use Instagram. They don't use Facebook. YouTube, again, I would highly recommend that. That's what I use.
Yeah. I take it for like just, even when you're recording like your songs and like just posting all that, right? Like doing it online, does it take a long time with all that?
To do what? To post the songs?
Yeah, everything. I mean, you record a song, then you perform it, then you put it, on, like through the social media process right there.
Yeah, it's a lot because the thing is like, so it's about making a consistent amount of music for one thing. Like it's kind of like it's similar to comedy in a way where it's like you kind of always want to be keeping yourself creative and always keeping yourself writing and doing new things. So like in my mind, I don't like when people like make a song and then that's the only song they promote for 6 months. To me, that's like, what is this? Like, and that's a thing it wouldn't have that 20, 30 years ago. Before it would have been, you're making so many songs and like you're trying to get yourself out there and make so many. You can't just cash in on one song. And it's not how it works. You can't do it. And so, but like people will do it because social media allows it where I could just write one song and I can just, that song's the one that gets popular. That's all I do for a while. So I don't know. But for me, it's a process of that. It's a process of always having. Now I'm sitting on about like 10 songs, 15 songs where I have them. And like one thing I like to do is to put people on these songs. So I think everything in life is kind of about having a process, right? I have a process for doing this. I'll find a beat. I like the beat. I will make. I have to see it. I have to know what this is. Like I'll find it and I'll know what it is. I don't make the beats because people will think that I do. So I don't do that. Like but that's the only thing I don't do. So I'll find whatever I like and then I'll write a whole song around it. And I always have to write the whole song. That's the part of my process too. I at least have to write enough to where I know this is a thing I'm willing to pay whatever it is, like $50 for this beat for. And then you buy the beat, you record it. And then once the song's recorded, you got to mix it, you got to master it. Those are the other two things you got to do. So you have to mix it, meaning you have to make everything sound better. Yeah. And then after that, the master is kind of puffing it all up, putting the sprinkles on top.
Yeah, I mean, but I take it that takes a lot of time.
It's like 3 jobs all in one there, right? Because you're the musician, but then mixing, and even mixing and mastering, I would say, are 2 different things in themselves. But yeah, it's a bunch of different things. And then it's also, nowadays, everybody's their own manager. So you have to put the song out. You have to make cover art. You have to make your cover art, which I'm not going to lie. I'll tell you guys, I not always do I use this, but AI makes some good cover art if you know what you're doing. And you don't have to pay so much.
Yeah.
So it does make economic sense if I'm releasing, like, I was doing a song every week for a minute, and I want to get back onto that. But, you're buying 4 cover arts a week. I mean, that adds up pretty fast if you're using a true artist. Okay, so an AI so basically it's about coming up with a good enough idea. And so I have to think, like, what's the theme of this song? What is the idea here? And how can I get this to represent it properly? So, like, one of them, it's like a heart that's also a knife. That was a cool one. It's like a heart that's also shaped like a knife. And the song is called Assisted Homicide. And it's like saying, like, you lost this girl, and if I lost this person, like, you can just kill me now. Like, I lost you, so you can kill me now. So, like, the heart and the knife makes perfect sense in the context. But that's the fun part. And that's also part of it, though, is making that cover art. And then a cover art has to stick. It has to look good enough to where I accept it. It's a whole process. And then performing it, though, that's just the fun part. That's like, now it already exists, and now I can just take it out there and tell you, hey, this is a song that's out there. Performing it's really where the fun is, if you ask me. That's really that's what I like the most. That's what I like to do the most, is just to perform the songs.
Okay.
But putting them together, writing them is like, dude, I love doing it. It's for the same reason that somebody who loves comedy would keep doing comedy. You know, it's something that I know I can do.
Yeah. But, for musicians today, would you say it's like different? Because you notice, like you say, like you even release like one song a week, right? Like, I mean, like, how does that work now with the internet now these days, right? Like, before people like, it's like I feel like I hear so many songs and there's just less like albums now coming out or something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
How I look at it is, since I'm a smaller artist, it only makes more sense for me to release singles.
Yeah.
Because the way that people's brains are now, if I release a whole album, I'm going to work on 12 songs and put this all together and make this whole thing, and it's going to take me 6 months to a year, and I'm going to put it all together and get it ready for you. And then I give it to you, and you listen to the first 2 songs, and then you don't listen to the rest. Because that's how a lot of people are. They don't know who I am, so they don't have this reason to listen to my music. And so they're going to listen to the first 3 songs on the album. They'll be like, well, okay, well, I'll listen to the rest later. And then they never do. Whereas if I release singles before they really know who I am, I can just have you, I'll tell you, hey, rather than me asking you to take 50 minutes out of your day, this is a 3-minute song that I just released. And then I can do that once every week. And then boom. Now, once every week, you can count on me to release another new song. Even once every month is consistent enough, really. With music, that's a lot of music. That's still about an album a year, 12 songs a year. So, and again, this is only because I don't have like a big following. If I had a big following, I'd want to do albums. So, and with the way it is now, you can release through things like DistroKid and CD Baby. These are 2 websites that you just pay to release songs through. Anybody can do it. You could release your own song tomorrow if you really wanted. It could be the Dan Lee project. But yeah. And I mean, like, it's all the same thing in the end when it comes to social media, though. It's all like getting people to look at it, you know? Like it's the same problem you would have with comedy, I think. Like, how do you film your sets and get people to know you're a comic other than going out to shows? Because, like, I don't know. Like, what do you do? I feel like I would just do the same thing. I'd just bring a camera and just film everything. I've seen some comics do that, where I think James Najjar, he posts a lot of his stuff. And I've noticed when I go to some of the open mics, I'll see people set up their phones, like they're filming it.
Yeah.
But you just never know if they're posting it or if it's for their own thing, so.
Oh, yeah. And, yeah, sometimes I probably should, like, record a lot more.
Just to have
for
something
that,
so people see that you're out there. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a start.
I feel like you're pretty good, man. I haven't seen you perform too many times. I only saw you a couple, because the first time I saw you, you said like you were taking a little break, and then the next time I saw you, you performed. And so I was like, oh, cool. And then I saw you, I think, once again after that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's just a lot of stuff that I've used in the past that people really like.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, you got something from there. You got a little bit of material like that.
You haven't tried out too many new things just yet? Yeah, you haven't.
I haven't, and when I do, I can't even think about it right now, but I'm trying to... Yeah, like, I try it, and if I feel like there's something there, I'll just, keep trying on that, like adding different words to it. Just because... sometimes you have, such faith in something that no one likes, right? Either, yes, you could just get rid of it. Maybe it's not funny, or just try to make it funny from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one or the other with that.
And it's kind of hard with those things because what do you do? Yeah. That's the problem. I've heard people say, like, if you can hold on to it for so long, like you can only hold on to it for, like, if it doesn't work at 10 shows, if you did it 10 different times, it didn't work any of those times, maybe then it's time to retire the joke.
Oh,
okay. But I don't know if there's a true scientific answer. Maybe there's a joke that
yeah.
deep down, the joke works, and you hold on to that joke for 2 years, and then after 2 years, you finally make it hit. Maybe that's possible. It probably is. I'm sure that's happened.
I'll let you know in like 6 months.
Yeah, right. When that one bit finally turns around. How many minutes would you say you have if like you were asked to do a show? Like how many minutes are in you right now?
I think I got like 6 minutes right now for sure, actually.
6 minutes?
I talked with James Najjar, and he said I could be on the lineup for his next
the Cozy Corner
one. Yeah, actually. So like that's what I've just been doing at mics now. Like like all the stuff that I'm sure I got to hit, right? Like I'm trying to do that and like kind of build a set from there too.
Yeah. Yeah, because the open mics are really like they're the testing grounds in the end. That is the only place to really try that other stuff, right?
Oh yeah,
it's the only place to throw it out there.
That's why open mics are fun. And there's some people like I said some pretty like terrible stuff back in the day too, but like that's where like if you have the balls up there to say that, most likely you can get away with it, right?
Yeah.
Like I mean you always want to support people at the mics too, but sometimes if it's just not funny, maybe it's not working there, but like at the same time, like whenever you hear someone getting booed at an open mic, they must have done or said something like really bad. Like, yeah, but like, I mean, it's like, they get away with it on that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And you can only get away with so much. Yeah. I mean, how many have you ever like bombed real hard in any of these open mics? Have you ever felt like the true horrors of the bombings?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the feeling, you get used to it.
You do?
Yeah. And you get used to it, and the more you react to it, like, it's like, all right, that didn't work. Like, people actually seem to just find that funny because it's a bomb. It's like, ah, shit, like,
Yeah.
they were expecting it, to be funny, and it wasn't. And
Yeah. If you bomb comfortably enough, people actually don't even mind it, I feel like. You just have to bomb comfortably. You can't like cave in on yourself during the bombing.
yeah, I remember. Yeah, like, it's kind of like, when you think you got a few good material, you try it out, people laugh the first night, second night, third night. Now you think, okay, this is gonna work, right? And then you bomb, and then you're just like, okay,
Yeah.
like, it's not 100%, right? Maybe 75% that it doesn't bomb. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, whenever you get that feeling, like, just even on an open mic set when there's a bunch of people watching and no one laughs at anything, like for the entire set, yeah, that I don't know, it feels good now.
Yeah. In a weird way.
Yeah,
Like
just
a
to remind you
masochistic-
that like you have a lot to work on, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those moments where you're like, all right, I got to make this better, right? It's inspiring.
Yeah. It's therapeutic.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
It's like such a shitty feeling, but it's like, all right, that's what makes us human.
Yeah, you got to go through that pain to grow stronger.
And
Yeah.
I mean, it happens all the time for me, but still, it's like, I can just, right, like either stop or learn from this, and yeah, that's all that. That's all that it means.
I think comedy forces you to confront that. Like when you bomb and when those jokes don't go your way, you think everything is going to go perfectly in your perfect ideal world in your mind. And then eventually you just have to face those things where it's like, okay, I guess this could get better. I guess it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. And eventually it does get better. I think what's cool about comedy is it kind of chisels that instinct in your mind. And like great comics are just naturally good at good responses and being funny because they've done it for so long that how could you not get better? That's your whole thing. You're just trying to use your funniness and to use that. And so and that's hard. That's not easy. That's it. Some people are better at it than others, but that's like any talent. Comedy is a strange art form. It really intrigues me, but I think it's so impressive. Like people who are really good at it and people who get better at it, or people who are even talented, people who even do it at all, because it's not what an onlooker would think. Like you'd think it's this simple thing where it's just going on stage and telling jokes, but it's not quite that. Like you're just building 6 minutes. Like that takes a long time. A long time.
Yeah, that's why it's like timing yourself too on stage, even if you don't film it. I mean, I guess you could always, time yourself just to make sure you don't ever want to go over time. But even just recording, just through audio, works as well. Just to for yourself, right? Like looking into that. I don't know. I'm trailing off now.
I've seen a lot of people do that, where they record through audio and they'll just pull out they'll have. For me, I'm always thinking I want to be able to post it. So that's why I have to use the camera. But if you're just recording it for yourself, by all means, just hit your button on your phone. Like how is it going to hurt you? Because if just having it and being able to go back and look at it is really what helps a lot. Your memory is not perfect, sometimes you'll go back and you'll listen and be like, oh, they didn't really react to that the way that I thought they did. I'm sure that has to be the case.
All the time too. Yeah, when you watch your recordings, because I mean, for all you know, it's like maybe only first few people had in the front row had a laugh, but if they're recording from back, it could sound quiet if no one else in the back is laughing. So yeah, that happens too. Yeah.
Yeah, I would be so nervous doing comedy. You ever get nervous? Do you still get nervous, or do you not really feel that?
I don't really get nervous anymore. It's just, but whenever you're up there, it's like, you just want to make sure it works, right? Like it's just more like I get more like let's do this, and then sometimes it just always it never goes that way.
Yeah,
Or
you're like
I'm sorry, not
excited.
that. Yeah, you get too excited. Yeah, is anxious? Nah, I just feel like anxious is just another word for worry.
I feel like anxiety and
Or maybe I
worrying
get worried.
and excitement are not that far off as a
Yeah.
feeling. It's just the way that you kind of use it, right? Because like being anxious can be like, oh shit, this is gonna go wrong, but it could also be like if you're excited, you're the same thing. You're jittery, you're ready to go. But oh shit, this could go right. Like I'm ready to get up here and make this go right. Yeah. And that's the best way you could possibly go into it. I think that's how winners win. You got to go out there and just think you're going to do it. You have to think I'm the guy who's going to be funny. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah. I mean, like, what do you mean when you say you get too excited? Like, how does that happen? You like jumping around up there?
No, not even. It's just like a mental thing.
Yeah.
Like it's like you're like mentally pumping yourself up for this.
Yeah.
Then you go up there and you're ready, right? All right, so this, and no one laughs. And then it's like okay, and then see
Yeah.
if you can like keep that energy the entire time too. So,
You got your hopes up.
yep.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing because sometimes it works, and yeah, it's a good feeling.
yeah.
I would definitely say it's nerve-wracking doing that though. When you first start, I think like I highly doubt anyone would be like, "Oh, I've been comfortable ever since I started." But then I could be wrong.
No, I mean, there's probably some rare cases, but even them, like, I'm sure everybody, I've heard some popular comedian, I can't remember who it was, but they just said, like, the first couple years you're doing comedy, you're just figuring out how to be comfortable on a stage. Like, that's really what you're doing for the first
yeah.
few years. And I'm sure
that.
that's right. Even in music, I'm sure that kind of applies, but
Yeah.
comedy more so. Because you have to be comfortable. You have to be yourself 100%.
Yeah.
Or at least some version of yourself that you can manage being for a long time.
Yeah.
That responds to an audience, that's able to engage. Like all of that's stuff that's not, it doesn't naturally happen. You have to learn to do it.
Yeah.
So, but you're right. There's probably some rare case. There's probably a couple people. So I don't know who they are. I'm sure if I looked it up, I'd find, I think another thing we talked about in the last episode, I think, she said Louis C.K. started when he was like 16 or 18, something like that. If it's 16, that's crazy. But I think that was what was purported to me. That was what was, I claim no truths. But yeah, I mean, some people just, and again, people start from different places. So some people might naturally have that inclination to kind of be able to go on a stage and communicate that and be funny. Whereas other people, they see it in themselves, but they're not quite where that other person started from, Like everybody starts from a different position, and you get better in different ways. I don't think you're quite who you are in 4 years as you are right now, no matter what you're doing. As a comic, I'm sure you change so much in a year. I'm sure you're not now what you were when you started. There's no way.
Yeah, slightly improving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, are there people in the open mic community that you see that you like a lot, like that you would shout them out? Is there any people that stick out to you?
Yeah, there's a bunch of people.
Like who?
There's like I see Matthew Doyle Perez. He's always at the mics. He gives a lot of advice. Mr. James Najjar, that dude hustles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Janelle Moore, I've seen her all over. Nice person too, actually. Like she ran the writers' room sometimes in the Glen.
Yeah, it's
They
called
call it the
Glen Word. Yeah,
though,
Glen Word. Yeah.
which is a very. I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Yeah, but she's led some of the writers' rooms there. It's like giving me a lot of good advice. I'm like, all right, I got to try that out too, and just listen to others too, right? Because it might help.
She mentioned that on here when she mentioned something about the Glen Word, which is
Yeah.
were there a lot of people? Like how many comics showed up there? Were there a lot?
Yeah, not much.
It's kind of better if there's not too many because you get more of an intimate thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, I haven't gone in a couple weeks, but it's always something I would like write down that I like look back on. It's like, yeah, like that's a good tip.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
And it's a great way to get better, to actually have like people who are wanting to constructively criticize that are doing the same thing as you. That's a great way to find it, because other than that, it's just going up there and trying to make it work, you know?
Yeah.
It's watching that same Dave Chappelle special you watched 3 times in a row again. What did he do there? What was that? Are there any comics you like a lot? Like just in general.
Like famous.
Yeah, just
comics?
people that you like always have liked.
Oh, I've always loved Norm Macdonald. Rest in peace. But
dude, Norm's
that dude
the
is
best.
king, man. You know, I feel like he's just,
Norm's. It's
dude,
hard to find
Norm's
people who
great,
don't
man.
like Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
He's one of the greatest. Yeah,
Yeah, he's. It's just the way he just delivered everything.
Yeah.
was always good. Yeah.
He's one of those people who, like, I feel like he could work anywhere. He just knows how to be like that naturally. He's so natural. Are you familiar with Harlan Williams at all? Or Harlan Williams? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, and he was friends with he started in the same place as Norm, and I feel like they have a lot of the same humor, in the sense that like they play into that bit of being that thing 100%, like 150%. Like Norm Macdonald is so good. It's hard to describe like how you would be so good at such a thing, at just playing dumb, because he gets away with saying anything. He can say anything at all, and that's really the art of it. And it was so great that he had that live show, because that was how I found him as a kid. Was that? I mean, it was must have been when I was in like middle school. There was that Norm Macdonald live thing on YouTube that he used to do with comedians.
Oh yeah, the podcast.
Yeah, and that's what I watched. It was him and Adam Egget. Yeah.
Yep.
And that was so great. That's some of the best comedy I've ever seen in my life, and I got to be exposed to that because of that. Norm Macdonald is, in my mind, like he's probably Mount Rushmore of comics. He's that good.
Yeah, no, he's that Norm Macdonald live show. There's a whole like YouTube thing you should see later.
Oh, there's so many compilations. Yeah,
But it's like
I'm not Norm
who
is the
wrote
YouTube
these
channel.
jokes. You know, that one is like one of my favorite ones.
Who wrote these jokes?
Yeah,
And it's
because he
always
makes them like say the joke.
that was at the end of every episode, so you would have like a bunch of
that's the whole
jokes.
compilation of that. It's my-
The one with Larry King was real good.
Yeah.
You got Larry King to say it. Some wild things.
Oh man, rest in peace.
Yeah, to both of them. To both of them.
Yeah.
Damn, Larry King wasn't too long ago, though. Larry King was more recent, if I'm correct. Right? I don't know. I don't remember when Larry King died. It couldn't have been too long ago. Hey, Margot, look that up. That's the cat. Oh, check this out.
That's,
Can also do a cat in heat, but we'll spare you that right now.
that was pretty good.
Thank you, man.
I'll say it like
It's one of my talents. Yeah. Check. I can attract cats with that. That actually works. Like
make
if
them like I don't know, you start a cat army with that.
yeah, you speak their language. I wonder how a cat general would sound.
Just see you walking down the alley, someone approaches, and all of a sudden, like they just like look around. You know, you just start saying meow.
You know, there's 20
And then,
cats
like,
behind
yeah,
me.
exactly. It's like,
Dude, that'd actually be crazy. That'd be a cool like comic book character, like a character in a movie. Like there's a lot of potential for that. Like a guy who like harnesses the power of cats. Because cats are dangerous. Cats are like dangerous in a way that dogs aren't dangerous. A cat could like destroy you with claws. Like if 20 cats jumped on you right now, I don't think you'd be able to defend yourself
God,
off of 20.
man, yeah.
20 dogs, maybe you could throw hands or something. Cats, they have claws. It's different.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The dogs might bite though. So I don't know.
No, I think if you had 20 dogs, though, the dogs are just like, you know, if it's like an attack dog.
The same size
just
dogs as
go
the cats.
crazy.
If it was the same size dogs as the cats,
Okay.
you could probably defend yourself.
I mean, it'd be a minor inconvenience then.
Yeah, it'd just be like a bunch of wiener dogs you're kicking away. I mean, eventually you'd be all right.
So you're
Cats
kicking-
could mess you up.
Yeah.
Cats scare me. Cats eat you when you die, apparently. Like if you die and the cat's still there with you, the cat will eat you faster than the dog will. I'm pretty
Cat's
sure.
gotta eat.
But does the dog eat you? That's what I wonder. Like if the dog waits long enough, does the dog eat you? Because I
So
heard
the
that about
dogs.
cats.
I think the dogs actually know you're dead.
Yeah.
And they get very sad.
And then they just don't eat you.
Eventually, I think when they get hungry, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think. Do you think if you were on an island and like you were starving and the person you were with died, do you think you would eat them?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I would too.
They'd probably be dead because I killed them so I could eat them. If I'm that hungry.
It was probably time to eat. Dude, that would be terrifying to be trapped on an island. What are the 3 things you'd bring to the island? Have you ever thought about that question? The 3 things you'd bring to a desert island? It's always a fun one.
I don't want to be like the smart ass and being like, oh, I'll bring a book that's like how to escape from a desert island. I'll actually just think of the 3 like things that pop in my head. A gun.
Okay.
Right?
We'll gracefully include
anything
ammo.
else.
I'll include ammo in the gun.
Yeah, a gun with ammo. I can't think of a 3rd thing. I'm not,
I mean, there's got to be something.
on an island? Like, so I know I'm just going to be on an island forever?
We'll say a month.
A month. Oh, man. I need what? Like, I don't know, gasoline? That's
Okay.
one thing.
Gun, ammo, and gasoline.
Wait, I mean, hold on. How would
the
I start
gun-
the fire then? I don't know.
Let's-
I just need something to start a fire.
Let's say the gun and the ammo are 1, gasoline, and you're allowed one more thing. You could probably find a natural way to start a fire.
Oh, man. Well, as long as I have survival skills, just a nice tent.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Not
it.
bad.
And
That's
then
a
I'll
good
just,
answer.
catch all my stuff with the tools provided on the island, which is nature.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I don't really mean any of that. If that ever happens, I'm just like, I don't think I can last a month on an island with only bringing 3 things. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna die here.
I think most humans would fail.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the modern human. I think the Amish would be set. Like there's a couple groups that could handle it. The Amish are probably one.
Yeah.
They could handle being thrown on a desert island.
Yeah.
Because they've trained for that. Maybe a farmer could pull it off. He'd be like, I've seen crops before.
True.
I know crops. I know I can eat this pineapple.
Yeah. Russian Spetsnaz.
Ooh, yeah. Like government agents for sure.
Uh-huh.
Who else?
I just had to say the Russian part, though. Just leave it from there.
Well, like in Russia, what is life like in Russia even? That's what I wonder about that sometimes. Like, what even is Russian culture like? What do they do? And what do they just do ice baths? And
Gets
shit?
very cold there,
Yeah.
right?
Probably cold people stuff. They like polar bears, I hear.
Damn. They
That's-
do like bears in general,
Yeah, they're into bears.
right?
They really like that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. They're like, them and the bears are cool. They hang out. That's what
Yeah.
I hear.
I feel like Russia does a lot, but we only have like, I can only think of all the stereotypes, and that's just like drinking vodka.
Yeah.
It's like the main part of getting into fights.
Yup.
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
The Irish, they're
Which,
similar
you know,
to Irish.
Sounds like us too.
Yeah,
As a-
Irish people, Russian
drinking
people,
a lot and getting
Americans.
into fights. Like,
We have a lot in
Yeah.
common.
yeah.
We should all just drink some alcohol together and get in one big fight.
Exactly. Yeah. World peace right there.
Yeah, that would actually probably be like a good coming together moment, you know? If ever, well, I don't know, because alcohol, it could go both ways. The alcohol, the fight actually would resolve everything. So, you know what? Actually, yeah, that'd probably
Yeah.
be a good world peace moment.
Everyone walks it off.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And then they shake hands and world peace. That's how we do it.
Yeah. Just
We gotta do that. Get every world leader that hate each other into a room and just provide everything that's fun. And then maybe there's world peace. After
what all
that.
could you provide though?
I
Like
don't know.
everything that's fun, like ping pong.
Yeah.
You gotta throw. in-
Okay, yeah, we'll start with that, and then what do they like? Everyone likes money, right?
Yeah. So we have an
Every
open
country
bar.
Just give some money to.
Ping pong. We have
them.
free money, like briefcases full of money
Yeah.
on the table. Like I think because a briefcase would be fun because it's like take however much you want, but like if they take some of the money, we'll just put out more money. Like we'll have it like be an unlimited amount of money.
But the Fight Club part would be the big thing.
Oh,
Where they finally hug it out. It's like, okay, world peace.
yeah,
Yeah, that's all we hope for.
yeah. So we do have them all fight still at the end. That's great. Like we're like, hey guys, this is actually, and all you got to do is like tell them it's like some big thing, like only big industry people go to it. Like this is a big deal, and like I think you could probably get them to fight each other. Like you could trick them
Yeah.
into thinking, you know what,
I mean,
let's
you
all
gotta
fight.
secretly film all that, and then if they put it out on pay-per-view, it's gonna It's gonna make millions.
That would be awesome.
Oh, I'm sorry, billions.
That would be awesome. I'm trying to think of like all the people you could invite. Like you get Matthew McConaughey there. Like Matthew McConaughey fights Dr. Phil. Like that'd be crazy. Stuff people could never predict, you know? Like you would never think they'd fight. And you want them to really fight, like scrap it out.
Maybe when there's real like real big disagreements in general. They could turn it into a whole series about it too.
Yeah.
You know, where they like just the fighter enters and it just the narrator says their disappointments.
Yeah.
The other opponent comes.
It'd be like a Fight Club show, except everybody knows about it. Like the Fight Club show that we all know.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Just it reminds me of Celebrity Deathmatch, but real. You know, like that old MTV show where it was claymation.
Yeah.
That would be, and honestly, in the world we live in now, I feel like you could do it. You could actually have a show where a bunch of famous people fight. You could actually do it. Back then it was a joke. Now it's actually real. Like we could pull this off. We had Mike Tyson return to fight Jake Paul. We can get anybody in a ring right now. True. But like the actors, I don't know if they do it because they're worried about, but maybe some of them. Maybe you catch the right ones, you know. William Shatner, get him in a match. Get William Shatner and have him fight. You know what? We'll go crazy with it. Melissa McBride versus William Shatner. That would get crazy attention.
I feel like William Shatner would die.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows which way that one's gonna go? William Shatner, you gotta pray for him on that one. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you could do with this format. There's a lot of ways you could go, and all you need is like a couple good participants, like just one good fight. People will start looking. It'll be like the next big thing. Hot Ones is my career goal. That when people ask me, that's what I say. Is I just need to get in an episode of Hot Ones. You know that show?
Oh yeah,
the hottest show with the hottest questions and even hotter wings. Can't even remember how it goes. But that's the thing. That's a good show. That'd be a good one to be on. That's like once I've done that, I think I've done everything I have to do. I can die happy. I've achieved my career goal. I mean, like it's no talk show for me. It's Hot Ones. No Netflix special. I don't need any of that. I think there was one other. Oh, and Nardwuar. If I get a Nardwuar interview, that would also be pretty cool. I don't know if you know Nardwuar. That guy. Oh, he's the best.
Nardwuar.
Nardwuar. He's been around since like the 90s, and he's done more than music artists. But he started with music artists, and he's just the best. Like he asks people questions. He always gets the reaction where people are like, "How would you even know that?" Like who knows where he gets his information, but he knows, like, he'll ask you about your kindergarten teacher, like stuff like that. He'll be like, do you remember Mrs. Crumble? And then he'll point the mic at you and you're like, Mrs. Crumble. And he'll be like, yes, Mrs. Crumble from this elementary school. And he points the mic back at you. And then you're like, oh, you talking about my kindergarten teacher? Like, literally, it's like it's like he hires PIs and they investigate your life. He's that good.
What? How does he do this? Like,
that's the question. And no one ever really knows. I think what it is that he contacts people most people wouldn't think to contact. That's what I think you'd have to do. You'd have to call family members. You'd have to like look where they went to school if you can find that information. Try to find people they went to school with and ask them questions. You got to come up with like crazy things no one would think to ask those people. And then you just figure out how to contact. You go to Instagram. You say, hi, I'm going to interview so-and-so. I wanted to know if I could contact you and ask questions. I bet a lot of people would answer your questions. Because that's the only way. Other than that, he's literally some kind of psychic. Yeah,
it's like they're tracking.
Yeah,
is he a psychic?
He just did Timothy Chalamet. Not how you pronounce that.
Bob Dylan.
The Bob Dylan, yeah, because he's promoting that Bob Dylan movie, and he was just on Theo Von's podcast too, which is I like that celebrities are finally catching on to the whole podcast thing and like the whole interview thing and YouTube thing, like rather than doing their normal circuit, they're actually doing more of that stuff because it's good stuff. And Nardwuar interviewing him is really cool. It's fucking Nardwuar asking Timothy Chalamet questions no one else would ask him. Timothy Chalamet.
Is that how he sounds?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, dude, imagine if that was your voice. You just sounded like Timothy Chalamet. Is that like that can't be?
What?
Is that like a terrible French accent that I'm doing? Timothy Chalamet. I'm not sure. I know French people have a certain sound to it, but it's not that. That's
Something
kind of
like
French,
that, but a
yeah.
little bit more like oh, which is like yeah.
Yeah.
Now we gotta speak some French and say it like
I wish I knew French.
bonjour.
Bonjour. Bonjour. Bonjour.
Oh yeah, see that sounds pretty French.
Thank you. Dude.
Yeah.
I feel like I could go to France right now.
Oh, they'll be like this motherfucker. They'll know. It's just to us. To me, it sounds pretty French.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. I can't. Can you do accents? Can you do any like accents? Are you capable?
No,
Oh,
I mean, except for Asian accents.
yeah. You can pull
Hello,
it. Yeah.
hello.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
That one you pulled off pretty well, I would say.
I mean, it's like like South Park, like was it this shitty walk? Like, if I really tried, I could probably sound like that.
Yeah.
Even though it's probably like a white dude doing the voice of him. What the hell is that dude's name? I forget.
I can't remember. I know you're talking
City
about.
Walk guy.
Yeah. Man, I can't do too many voices very well. I wish I could do more. There's so many I wish I could do. Like accents, I mean. Because I mean, like a southern accent, you can kind of do a little bit, but I feel like this is this convincing to you? Like, if you heard somebody talking like this, would you really think that they're southern, or would you just think this is a guy doing a southern accent? Because sometimes I'm worried it ain't like that accurate. I'm trying, but it ain't really there.
You got to ask that to Iggy Azalea.
Yeah,
I thought she was from like Georgia or something.
yeah. If she is, I wouldn't.
She from like Australia.
I wouldn't have guessed from her music. I wouldn't have guessed.
Yeah.
And that. Oh, she's from Australia, though. I think.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, huh. Like I first time I heard the song, I was like, I don't know how to, think about that. When someone's like, she's Australian. I'm like, wow, interesting.
Yeah, I don't think there's too many Australian rappers that get popular nationally, or I'm sorry, worldwide, right?
Yeah.
Internationally.
She was one of them.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
is she even Australian? I don't know. I know she's
think
not
so.
from the U.S.
I think she was Australian, actually. I think she was.
And then she did the Southern.
I don't know if that's Australian or not. I think Australian is way over here, if I'm right. Right? Yeah? Is that British?
That was more British.
Because British I can do a little bit. I feel like British I can kind of do that. I can kind of get there. That's not too bad. It's all right. It's not perfect, but it's okay. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I need to get their like words down because they say like bloody hell and shit like that. Yeah, yeah.
You ever try doing that out in public, but maybe wearing like super like formal clothes, like something you see in like a British family household, like, and then you talk like that, and people will be convinced. I don't know, like order a coffee, right? And like order it in your metrics as if you just came to the U.S. So memorize all that, like whatever size they use out there. And then finally, when they, like give you a coffee, then just go back to your normal accent. Be like, hey, thanks a lot. Have a great day.
That's really funny because I used to do this thing on TikTok live where I would like, you can invite random people. Like it'll let you ask random people to join you live that are already live. And so I would do the southern accent like this. I'd say, hey, hello, I'd like to do a freestyle rap for you. You just give me 3 words. I'll do freestyle rap. We'll hit it real quick, and you'll see what I'm all about. I think this would be fun. And then they give me the 3 words. And then when I rap, I just do my normal voice, and I just do the rap. Like I'm like, so I'm talking like this, and then I'm rapping like this, and I'm doing, and then I'm like, hey, what'd you think of all that? Was that? And yeah,
you keep them wondering.
So you go back to the voice at the end. That's the fun part. But I've never thought of doing it in public. That'd be a real fun thing to do.
Just like, I don't know, like ordering coffee, or just like sitting down ordering food, right? Because they'll come back and be like, how was everything? You just keep saying it until you finish paying. And then you just talk at your normal ass. Like, hey, that was really great. See you. I'll be back.
Yeah. I'm just method acting. I'm sorry. I actually wanted to say thank you in my normal voice. Yeah. I'm trying to think of
started off with and see.
I'd like greet them like, oi, I'd like to get some burritos, bro. Like the whole time I'm talking to him like that. At the very end, I'm like, no, actually, thank you so much. Oh, like, man. I really had you though, right? Yeah.
It'd be fun to like record it.
Oh, that's what'd be the funnest part is to like get the evidence afterwards, like to show people. It sounds like a prank. To me, that's a fun prank. That's like one of those. That's like a good prank that I don't think I've actually even seen done. Just like a stupid accent prank. Like I pretend to have a different accent. You'd have to be believable enough. Like the British one, I guess I could do. Like you said, the British is good enough. I look like I might be British, so maybe I could pull it off. Irish, I wish I could do Irish, but I don't think I'm quite there. Irish, I don't even know what that really is. I know they do their eyes like that.
That's I don't know. That sounds British. You could do a great, Hispanic as well.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
I practiced that one for a while too. Takes a long time. You have to hang out with people and really feel it out, bro.
That's how you do it, man.
Yeah.
No one will know.
Yeah.
No one will know the wiser.
I'd be like, hey, I've only got $20, but I need to get something cheap. What you guys got here? They won't know the difference.
Oh, man, yeah.
I don't know what other ones I got in me. I mean, like, I wish I had every single one. Like, I like those YouTube videos where it's like they're doing 50 accents. Because there's Minnesotan accents. There's all kinds of accents. You wouldn't even realize. Like, there's probably like 20 accents across the whole country of America, at least.
Minnesota.
Minnesota? Yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah. Minnesota, eh? It's getting close to Canada. A little bit. Canada, I think, is kind of like this, but I'm not quite sure. I think that Canada is kind of up there. But Minnesota is with the O's and the A's and the O's and the Ha's. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that accent that well. I think LA's probably got one. Like Southern California's probably got like a thing where they kind of maybe talk more like this would be my guess. Like they have a sort of like monotone way of saying things like that. That would be my guess if I had to guess it.
Yeah.
But I'm not quite sure. Because when you're an actor, you have to study that shit. Imagine being paid a bunch of money to get a voice right. Like Bob Dylan. Like, holy shit.
I wonder who's got like the coolest accent in this country.
Ooh, that's a good question. Like the coolest accent on the scale of coolness. I'd say Boston is a pretty cool accent. If you had to pick one, I feel like a New York accent is a very distinct. That's one. I know it's exaggerated, but I feel like that would be up there. If you had to pick like the cool one, because I don't think it's a cool factor. Because there's just, if you say something in that kind of accent, it has a certain ring to it. I feel like that one's got a cool thing going on.
True.
I feel like my accent's not cool. I feel like it's that, to me, it sounds like a flat Midwestern accent, which is odd to think about because of course it sounds like something else to someone else. But to me, it just sounds like nothing. It doesn't sound like anything interesting. I don't care for mine. I don't think it'd be very cool in the cool.
Maybe cool accents always have to sound tough.
Yeah, maybe it's tough. And New York is
East
tough.
Coast wins, right? The East wins then and there.
Yeah. East Coast people. Yeah, East Coast in general, all of them. Just the whole East Coast. Do they sound like that in Maine? I wonder. What do they sound like over there?
I don't know.
What do they sound like over in that like very tip top of the East Coast? Because I mean, like, there's like even what else is over there? Where do they live at in The Simpsons?
Springfield.
No, I'm not. I'm at Family Guy. Rhode Island. Rhode Island's the one I was
yeah.
talking about. Rhode Island's another country or another state that like.
I mean, they're all like right by Boston, I think.
Yep.
Because they're like Boston sports fans. So.
Oh, so it's probably all about the same then.
Yeah.
That whole thing, man.
East Coast wins, man.
I haven't really been to the East Coast too much. Have you?
I've been in New York a couple times.
What do you think? You like it there?
I do like it, but there is something like it's like if you go to New York to visit, I just feel like you're gonna hit a wave or get a whiff of the New York filth.
Ooh,
Right? Every time you go there to visit.
Yeah.
I feel like.
What is that like?
It's brief, it's instant, and then you shower and all that, but it's just that's what's out there. It's because your body hasn't felt something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird way to explain it. It's like, you're gonna be in New York. You go outside. I don't know. Maybe take a cab somewhere or an Uber, and then once you start walking down the city, you just get a quick, brief whiff of just the filth of New York, and then you're finally in. You're in New York. That's what New York's like.
That's like the initiation.
Yeah, just a lot of walking. but it's cool though.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of shit everywhere. Yeah. It's,
Well, that's like the difference, right? Is they just leave the trash out on the street and shit like
that's
that.
yeah. That's the gross part.
Yeah.
Because you're not used to it here. I mean, yeah, it's all in the alleys here,
Yeah.
right?
Which is nice.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to do it.
I mean, even for you, like, back home, like, was it the same way? The trash was in the alleys, or?
Oh, well, where I'm from, it wasn't even like alleys. It's just like a street.
Oh,
you know?
okay, like by the driveway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Again, I mean, I'll say, like in Flint, Michigan, where I was at, there would be like areas people would throw shit out of their car, which is annoying. Like that would drive me nuts. And you do see that in any city area. Like you do see like stuff, just trash lying around sometimes. It's a shame. True.
It's all about how quickly you can get rid of that.
Yeah. The evidence.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That too. Like, get rid of the evidence, litter it out, and then somebody's like, all right, I'm gonna pick that up. Maybe they find evidence and it just goes against you.
Yeah. 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 Maybe throwing it out was a bad idea.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have kept that used condom in the car. But yeah, I mean, I do think like keeping the trash in the alleyways, of course, that's the way to go. It blows my mind it's like that in New York. I've never really seen it. I've never really seen what it's like there.
That's because it's so dense, man.
Yeah.
You just see it.
Well, it's like
everywhere
what,
in
3
trash
times as many people, right? I imagine, because I think the population there is 6 million.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy population. Plus, like the entire city, so big. Like,
Yep.
It's
And it's all the city. Whereas like where we're at in Chicago, the city's kind of spread out a little bit. Like downtown is downtown, but then there's different segments of the city that are all different things. Whereas New York, everywhere is congested like that, and it's all all different, like Chicago is, but it's different in that one island and then that other island, and it's not like here where you can go inland and there's kind of a feeling of I feel like New York would be a whole different animal just for that reason.
I mean, I don't think I'll ever drive in New York.
Yeah, I don't even want to drive here. I can only imagine there.
See, I feel like I'm used to driving here, but other people will just be like, no, like people in Illinois are crazy drivers.
Yeah.
But I think they got a point because it's like pretty common to hear about like freeway shootings.
Wow.
Here. Like, so our road rage is pretty bad.
I believe
too.
it.
It's just I feel like I don't know. I still feel safe here though than driving in New York, man. Just being in a passenger in a car, right? It's just so chaotic. I don't know. I mean, I don't ever get that vibe here.
No, I don't feel like that either.
It's a little bit more tame here.
It can be a bit much, but it's not like, oh my God, like what? This is crazy. What we're doing here is crazy. Unless it's like rush hour traffic and you're like stuck in the middle of something. But like that doesn't really happen here so much. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, when that happens, that's.
Where were you at in New York?
Bad for everyone. Like last time, it was a couple of years ago for a friend's wedding. I think it was like around Brooklyn.
Okay.
And no, it was just overall nice. I mean, it was.
You spend a decent amount of time there?
Yeah, for like a week.
Actually,
no, maybe 4 or 5 days.
That's still not
almost a
bad
week.
though.
Yeah, no, yeah, I had a lot of fun. There.
It's got to be a lot to do.
There is so much to do. So yeah, no, it's totally something like you should always, you should put it on a list.
More
right?
expensive than Chicago?
Yes. Oh my God, it's like a 6-pack of beer was. It was a lot.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but I was like, oh, I think you can get like, for the price you just paid, like you can get like a case of that for $5 more. Like, yeah, it was, yeah, but there's like bodegas everywhere.
Huh.
Right. So, I mean, like imagine if you're just walking down on like Morse or Lunt and like just multiply that by like 5. Like you don't see any alleys. Like, yeah, it's
it's
so much more space is used,
and everything's always open too. You can go to that bodega at 3 a.m.
I heard like, yeah, some are open like that. But it's kind of like with COVID. It's just everything. I feel like everything's been affected. Like with
even New
24-hour
York
stuff. I think so. I mean, like even here too, right? In Chicago, like places that used to be open 24/7 or even till like 1 or 2 a.m. They all close early now.
Really?
Yep, it's all them COVID hours. Yeah.
Kind of a shame. Because I mean, some of those places could be open. Like they stopped doing it and then they never started again.
I know.
Yeah.
It's the worst actually with like with restaurants now that just do like carry out only.
Yeah.
So,
The place I work at, they used to be open until 2 in the morning, and I can only imagine. Oh my God, it's a pizza place, so you'd get some interesting characters from 12 to 2.
Oh yeah.
I know you would.
Oh man.
But what'd you just say previously?
Something about. I think I trailed off
Oh man.
about something about COVID hours. Yeah, like restaurant hours, right? Nightlife in general.
Yeah.
Is not really
The whole
available.
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really not
Even
what
in New York, it didn't like seem like everything was open super late.
And that man, yeah. I'm sure some places bounce back. It just depends where. Because I want to, like, if I'm in New York, I want to do the classic, dude. I want it to be 3 in the morning. I want to get like something where I couldn't do it here. Like, I want to go get donuts from a bakery at 3 in the morning. I want them to be fresh. Yeah. This is what I want, and this has to be possible. This is a city of possibilities. That's what I was told. So if that's not my New York experience, you'll hear me complaining when I come back and tell you guys about it, okay? I want it to be beautiful. I want it to be like the movie Enchanted when I'm like the princess entering New York. Like, this is beautiful. New York is beautiful.
Just make sure you eat that apple.
Yeah, that giant one I've heard about.
Yeah, I mean, you'll probably get sick
I mean, hey,
and die.
I'll eat any apple.
Just any apple.
I'll eat any apple someone hands me. And I mean that. It's a problem of mine. But yeah, I mean, New York would be interesting. It'd be a fun place to be. I mean, I'm trying to think of other, like, you haven't been to any other major cities? I haven't really been to many other than here, so.
Not too much, yeah.
Is there any you're interested in? Or just any place at all you want to travel to, I guess? Yeah, any travel places on your itinerary?
No, I think that's my issue. I'm like too comfortable as just a homebody.
Really?
I don't leave. Yeah.
You never ever think, like,
Every once in a while, I think of places that I'd love to go to.
Yeah.
Europe, Asia, even, I don't know, like, yeah, maybe even Canada when the weather's nice, but
Europe, Asia, Canada?
really random. Yeah.
Why those ones? Why Europe?
I've never been, but I want to check out, I just want to check out the European countries.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, you guys all look like the white people in the U.S., but you guys don't feel like that. Going to a different nation,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Checking out the culture.
Yep. And everywhere is so different. Like, so I've never been out of the country even, man. And I really do want to experience that. When I had someone on here recently, it was Ron Bloom. He was telling me about how he lived in Italy for a couple of years, and the architecture there is so interesting because it's so old. We're talking like thousands of years old, and what you see here, the oldest it's gonna be is 200 to 300 years. Like, that's old to us here. But you go to those countries, and there's stuff that's thousands of years old. It's just crazy to think about. Like, that's been standing for 2,000 years. I'm sure Egypt would be one of the most wild places to visit, just because of the history that's there. It's crazy to think. That's where we kind of start from as our history of civilization, all kind of stemmed out, and then the European countries, and then eventually we find America. America's young when you really think about it. Canada's young. America, Canada, even the civilization. I never really thought about it. I guess all of South America is relatively young. I've always thought America's young, but really all of it. Because, I mean, before
it wasn't really discovered until...
Yeah, it's about the same time when it all kind of came to the colonization of it. Like, Mexico becomes Mexico about the same time America becomes America. If I'm correct, somewhere around there. Can't be that far off. But that's crazy because it's not that old. It's like 300 years compared to what? These European countries are thousands. Yeah. Kingdoms. We're talking kingdoms on kingdoms on kingdoms. We got, like, kings that just killed people and stuff. Only like 600 years ago. I'm trying to think what's the one that, I think King Henry. There was a King Henry that was pretty wild. I wish I knew my kings.
It's probably like normal for people to be like, oh, I hope I don't get killed today.
Yeah. Yeah, like, there's a lot of benefits of modern society. That's what I always tell people.
But
like,
at the same time, it's like, they probably don't wish for death, but if they do to them, it's probably just not the worst thing.
Yeah.
Or I mean, it's just not a big deal, right? There's not much to do back during the medieval times.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's like at least we got plans for the day.
yeah.
I wonder, like, yeah, I feel like there's probably so many inconveniences you don't even realize would be going on back then, like in medieval times, because medieval times would be like the 500s to the 1500s, like right before everything kind of really picks up. So let's just say we're talking like the year 800. Like that would kind of suck. I looked up like when toilet paper was invented, and I don't think it was before the year 800, but I might be wrong.
What were they doing after they shat? I mean, yeah, I'm sure they were wiping it, but
Like leaves and stuff.
how did they clean themselves even more after that?
You just have to be like leaves
Yeah.
and water and like
Well, I feel like if you use water to clean yourself, you're just going to infect yourself. I don't know.
I
Like,
don't know,
all those parasites in waters back.
that river water.
Yeah, because I don't. Didn't they like drink less water back in the day because it was hard to get like fresh, clean water?
One would imagine.
Yeah.
One would imagine like they just couldn't even get it. Yeah. Yes. Well, I don't know, because like if you could just go to a river and get as much water as you, but if we're talking clean water, yeah, I don't know if it matters. Like I don't know if you were from the moment you were born, you drank river water, I think you would adapt differently to it than if you like today, me and you had to go start drinking it to survive. We would have a whole different reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my guess, is like it would depend. It would depend on like how long you've been doing that for.
Wonder what changed it, man.
Yeah. Well, probably just slowly, gradually over time we adapt, right?
Yeah.
Because we didn't, you know, that's so crazy to think about, just the crazy spiral of everything, because all of that stuff is the last 500 years. But even the modern technology we see now is the last 50 years.
Yeah.
All this stuff, these microphones, this computer, this TV, a lot of the stuff in this room we have because of the technology advancements in the last 50 to 100 years. And there's so much of history in just the last 2,000. Like, what's going to happen in the next 100? Like, who has any idea? The history speeds up in a way, I feel like.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff now.
Could you imagine if we never adapted to water, though?
Yeah.
Today, we just be walking after a rain. We just go to a pothole and stick our head into it. It's like, all right, I'm not thirsty anymore. And
I would like that. I would actually feel like people are more down to earth.
yeah.
Be like, yo, can I use that puddle after you? Because,
Oh, yeah, just stick your head in the water. Doesn't matter where it's from.
yeah. That's like, you know, there's some unity in that, right? Everybody's kind of in a community throwing their...
I mean, aren't there conspiracies about water? The fluoride stuff.
Oh, yeah.
to
Well,
clean it and-
there is truth in the fluoride, in the
Yeah.
fact there is fluoride in the water. Like, they've confirmed that.
Yeah, I know it's not good for you.
Yeah.
And, like, especially plastic's not good. And
And the
so it's
plastics,
like-
I guess, are in everything. I don't know. I haven't done my research on the
Yeah.
plastics, the
It's just-
microplastics.
Yeah. It's like they wanted us to adapt to this clean drinking water
Yeah.
for a reason, man.
Yeah.
The truth is in the water.
Dude, what's up with this world, man? They want me to drink water out of like a purifier and a faucet. Like, I know I can just go outside and sip out of that river, but for some reason the man has told me not to. What's going on here? Can we go back to the way it was? That's actually, yeah, that could be our radical theory. Like,
Secret laboratories under the river. If they drink too much out of it, they're gonna find the handle, to to open up the lab.
Yeah, if you go in the scuba, if you get in scuba and you go in the river and you find where the latch is, because that's the hard part, to figure out where the latch is. But you can actually just open up the hatch, get inside quickly so too much water doesn't get in, and then you're inside of the laboratory. I've been there a couple times. I've seen it. I actually know about it. You're talking to somebody who's been there.
Yeah,
So
I heard it's
I
pretty
know.
cool.
Well, it's cool, but it's also very shocking, right? Because you would think that they wouldn't keep this kind of thing from us, but the problem is, if we knew that we could drink water from the rivers, then Big Water wouldn't make any money. That's the problem, and Big Water wouldn't sell. I mean, look at this. I got a Smart Water right here. All right,
Nice.
Aquafina. Like,
It makes you smart.
that's what they want me to think.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's what they want me to think. But truly, we can drink from. We could probably drink from a waterfall. We could probably drink from what are some other natural water sources? Geysers.
Imagine you go to a waterfall. Somebody hears this, it's like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna test my limits. They go under it, just instantly take it away.
you could I mean, you could probably drink from a waterfall carefully. If you just like open your mouth a tiny bit and just, you could probably manage it. I mean, I would guess. I've never done this.
I would just get a little sample of it, like, boop. Just lick my finger.
Like a bucket. You bring a bucket to a waterfall. That would be fun. That would be a proper way to do it. That would be the life. And like if you lived 2,000 years ago, you live right next to the waterfall. You have your little bucket. You would actually everybody would be jealous of you. I can't believe they can just bring water back.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah, but even lights, dude. All this shit. Like 200 years ago, they were using candles. If we didn't have candles, we'd have no lighting in here.
We could probably see in the dark.
Yeah, we probably
use,
lost that ability.
Yeah, bat sonar or something. I don't know.
You know what? If you would have given us like 500 more years, we probably would have developed the ability to see in the dark. Because I know for a fact pirates, right? They can see better in the dark because they keep their the eye patch on. That was I think that's the original idea behind the eye patch. I might be wrong. Is when you go above and down into the deck, you like move the eye patch, and then this other eye is adapted to the dark, so you can see down there immediately, and your eyes never have to adjust between the light.
It's pretty cool.
I think that's what it is. Because I guess when you go back up, it would still be, but I don't know. And I think the stereotype then becomes pirates missing eyes because, like, that's why they wear an eye patch. But I think what it really is to go above and below the deck.
Yeah.
That would make more sense to me. But it's cooler to think they just lost their eyes.
From a fierce battle.
Yeah.
Involving swords and shit.
I've never really thought about that, like eye patches. They are just naturally associated with pirates in my mind, yeah. But I guess a sword fight, you could lose like in like ancient combat, but there's ninjas wearing eye patches.
I know they have like, modern day pirates today.
Really?
Yeah, but it's like you wouldn't, because when we hear pirates, we're thinking of like, like the Johnny Depp movie and all that, right?
Yeah.
I wish they would all dress like that today.
Right. Yeah. Like you just want them to maintain that aesthetic.
I mean,
instead they're like South African people wielding machine guns.
They probably get caught immediately.
Yeah.
If they try putting up a fight, I'm talking like they dress like that today and have all those weapons from back then, like cannons and swords and rifles that shoot once and reload.
Well,
that'd be fun.
That would be fun.
I mean, not if it was on, if I was on their side, that wouldn't be fun.
No, but it'd be fun to like see happen. It wouldn't be fun to be involved in it all. It'd be fun from a distance. You wouldn't want to be the neighborhood the pirates are invading. Like, yo, pirates are finally here. They got muskets and everything.
I mean, if we ever had pirates invade our country, we don't have to worry about anything.
Think we could handle them?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
As long as they're the pirates in my vision.
If it's enough pirates, it'd have to be a lot.
Oh, shit. So they got, like, bow and arrows?
Let's just say that it's, like, an army of pirates that they've been training under the rivers, okay? Let's just say it's all connected. And
the pirate man.
Yeah. They've been training these pirates. They've been training them. And the river's essential because it keeps them near the water so they can engage with the water. But they also don't have to, like, be on the ocean. They don't have to find that real estate. They can just be under the rivers in America. It's easily available space that the government already owns, right? So they're under the rivers. They're telling these pirates, this is how you don't get, this is what it is if you have scurvy. This is what it is if you happen to see any oysters. If you get in a sword fight, this is how you wield your sword. Also, never forget the, parlay. They have the rule of parlay. There's some pirate rules. You got to know your pirate rules.
I don't know any of that. I've heard of parlay, though. That's a gambling
I know. Maybe
thing.
I'm mixing it up
You have
with
to make
the
like
gambling
5
thing.
bets or something they all got to hit.
Yeah, that's what it is in
like
gambling.
one thing. Yeah, that's a parlay, right?
But I think that there's something about like at least like a pirate's honor, like it's kind of like a samurai, like a ninja's honor. Like you have to honor your word. Like if a pirate makes a deal with you, the pirate can't break his deal. Like there's stuff like that, and they use that in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. But that's all real pirate stuff. I'm pretty sure pirates have like a code, so you'd have to do all that stuff right, Yeah. But so they're training them and all that. So let's just say we got. I want to pick a good number. Like if we're going against America. And it's the government, like it's the ultimate conspiracy. That's the government supplying the pirates. They probably have a lot. So we could just realistically say 100 million. 100? No. Yeah, because they've been doing this for a while. 100 million.
100 million pirates.
100 million pirates enter America and invade to take over the country.
Nah, they wouldn't make it to us.
Dude, come on. 100 million, and they come in from all sides.
We'll just ask Canada for assistance too, and then they'll just immediately their Air Force will come in.
No, but that's...
The country would be a shit show though, but we'll win.
Okay, see,
We'll
now,
win.
now I agree with you. But, like, how long do you think it would take?
These days, I'm gonna give it a week.
What?
Yeah.
No.
If it's the pirates in my vision, with bow and
The
arrow.
pirates I described? Like 100 million of them?
Yeah.
But with bow and arrows?
Yeah, give
and...
it a week.
A week?
Even the typical gun owner has enough to take a few out.
Let's say
There'll be some casualties.
these pirates have really good leadership skills, and they really, really are good at because listen, a loser can win a battle. Like a loser, if they have a really good leadership strategy, they can win. And I don't think America has the unity it needs to take on these pirates right now. Like I think if the pirates invaded from all spaces, we're kind of divided as a country, and so it'd be like we would fight with each other. We'd be like, no, this is how we need to fight the pirates, and then nobody would do anything, and the pirates would just kill people.
I feel like right there, though, it's like when they start getting there, our Coast Guards are going to be like, all right, this is it, boys. This is what we trained for.
The Coast Guards have the day of their lives.
they're going to be taking them down left and right. But if it's the pirates' main order to get to land, right?
Yeah.
They're all just going to keep fighting through that. And then, boom, right there, you probably lost half your pirates already.
That's a great point, because
And
we
then
have naval...
by the time they get to the land, there's going to be, what is it? Every military guard.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it'd be like...
There's going to be reserves there. There's going to be National Guard. Like,
that's a great point. The pirates have no
and boom.
chance.
Actually, I don't even give it a week. I give it maybe I don't know, 2 days.
They just have to guard the
Yeah,
coast.
they just got to get there. Yeah. And then it's over, man.
They don't even need much. Yeah, because basically the problem is you're talking like at least 100-year difference of technology, like 150, 200 years. Like their weaponry, all that. Like just throw it 200 years in the past. They don't have tanks. They only have cannons. But it'd be fun to see the pirates.
Watch.
What's that?
That'd be so fun to watch.
Yeah, I was gonna say it'd be
battles.
fun to watch the pirates fight each other. Like that would be a fair fight. That would be like, wow, who's gonna win here? To see like them just slaughter the pirates would be kind of sad.
Yeah. All right, you capture the pirates, and then you're like, well, this is it.
Yeah,
You two fight. Only one gets out.
yeah,
Yeah. And then you can send them to jail.
yeah. Dude, that'd be so awesome if we had a bunch of pirates in jail. A bunch of jail pirates. Just like,
Oh, yeah.
they just entered the prison system, and it's like, wow, like, and they would probably take over the prisons. A pirate would probably do really well in prison, actually. If I had to guess,
find treasure for everyone.
yeah, well, treasure, but also like he would he would know how to find the booty, dude. He would know how to find it. Everybody in the cell block would be like, yo, what's even a pirate name? I was gonna say, like, yo, talk to so and so, but I can't even think of a pirate name. Like
just
Jack. Jack is, I get Jack Sparrow, I guess.
Yeah.
And it can't just be that.
Isn't a popular one like Davy Lockett or
Oh
something?
yeah, Davy Jones.
Davy Jones.
Yeah.
Is there a Lockett?
I don't even,
Jones.
dude. I don't know my pirates. I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
I know like one pirate. My pirate trivia is slacking. That's a good question. Someone asked me once. Is there an like if you had to go do trivia, is there like a certain topic that you'd do well at?
It's got to be like random.
Just random
topic.
trivia?
Yeah, random trivia. I'm gifted.
So what you're saying is you just know random facts.
I'm gifted in random facts. Yeah.
Your brain just retains the right information to provide it at the most random times.
Yep. And just no value at all whatsoever.
Yeah. Hey, there's value in that.
Random facts.
Those random facts probably assist you in stand-up comedy. That would be my guess. Because like the random facts would come to your mind. Like you'd have the right,
helps.
you'd have comedic ideas with that. I mean, I have to imagine like a lot of comics have like random thoughts. That's just kind of part of it.
Yeah, I mean that's why they get up on stage and try it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, those like my what I find in myself is I remember certain things at certain times. Like I would never say I have a good memory, but I just remember the right things at the right times. But like, if you had to ask me the trivia one, Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad, I remember like all the fine details.
Oh, I love Breaking Bad.
Oh my God.
I
like
just
that
watched
show.
that again, actually.
How many times you watched it?
3 times now.
Me too. I'm like waiting for the 4th time.
Yeah.
I'm like, when is it time? Because it is one of those shows that's so good, you can go back to it every few years and you kind of pick it up in a different way. It's like a different thing.
That and yeah. Then there's Better Call Saul.
Yeah, I was going to say, have you seen that?
I love that show.
You seen the whole
too.
thing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And what do you think? Did you like it as much as Breaking Bad?
I thought it was better.
Really?
Not like
I heard a lot of
no
people
pun
say
intended.
that, and
I did like it better,
I feel like
yeah.
it was. I feel like it did better in certain ways. Like it's as if they kind of figured out their storytelling through Breaking Bad, and all that training made them really, really good at what they were doing when they approached Better Call Saul. Because nobody even knew what Better Call Saul was going to be going into it. Like we just were thinking, like, okay, it's a show about the lawyer. Like that's all you know, the prequel, and it's the lawyer. And they managed to, like you said, make a show that's even better. Like, people consider it better, and they mean it. They're not like just saying that.
And by better, you know, from Breaking Bad, when Walt first realizes that Gus is the guy, right?
Yeah.
He goes up to him, you know, asks for a refill. If you look in the back, all those drink machine things, the drinks weren't labeled. But in Better Call Saul, when they're in Pollos Hermanos, the drinks are labeled. So they made it better.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm being stupid.
What blows my mind about Better Call Saul is there's so many things where it's like they made you know that Saul is going to make it to Breaking Bad. So they had to like give you reasons to care about what his character is going to do and where he's going to go and develop this story. And like adding in a brother, Chuck, and having him and Chuck have that relationship and have that be like this thing throughout the story. And then adding Kim in. And then the question becomes like, is she there during Breaking Bad? Is she there in the background, or how does that all work? And you're wondering that throughout the entire series. It gets you to keep thinking that. It plays on that, but it plays on that in the perfect way.
Yeah.
Because it justifies itself as a prequel. That's really hard to do as a writer.
I mean, it's just one of those like satisfying ending, full effect kind of thing.
And in the same way Breaking Bad is. That's why I think Breaking Bad is such a great show, because it managed to tell a whole story from start to end so well. And then Better Call Saul did the same thing. And you're doing it over the course of 6 years. Like that's crazy to actually manage to pull that off because the first season of Better Call Saul, I would say, is even more like the pace of that show picks up so much throughout the series. So that's like the slowest one. That's the one where it kind of like you have to kind of get into it and feel it out. But then after that, it just gets better and better and better.
I mean, first time I saw season 1, I thought it was whatever.
Yeah.
But then when you rewatch it, you're like, man, this is like just really fun.
And they set everything up so well. I mean, they really set it all up, like everything you needed to know. I mean, I think season 3 is what really got me. I'm sure you know that courtroom episode. It's called Chicanery or Chicanery. It's called Chicanery, and it's like it's season 3, episode 5, if I'm correct. But it's like one of the most well-known episodes of the show because it's when there's Jimmy and Chuck in the courtroom. I'm trying not to reveal too much in case anybody wants to watch the show, but it's so good because
is it when kind of like his whole, I don't know, like position is on the line right now, and Chuck. Oh yeah, I know.
And Chuck's kind of coming after him, and so like when that happens, that whole episode was so good. Like that was when the show like proved itself to me. I'm like, oh my god, like this is on par with, and I'm so glad I got to witness all that live. I only got to see I was gonna say on par with Breaking Bad, but I only got to see season 5 of Breaking Bad live. And that was split into 2 years. The way they released it, it was the first half, and then the second half came out the next year, which was still awesome to see that live because it's fucking Breaking Bad.
Yeah, no, I remember.
Yeah,
that was like when I feel like that was like one of those shows where everyone binged it at the end.
Well, I think season 4, I think what it was it got popular on Netflix. Again, I could answer trivia about the show.
Yeah.
I think it got popular on Netflix, and it was and that's what revived the show. And I want to say it was after season 4, but it might have been season 3. Yeah. It got popular on streaming services is what
Plus,
it was.
there was a lot of people at first, when they heard about Breaking Bad, but they're like, oh, I'll never watch that show. So many people have told me to watch it, but I'm never gonna watch it. You know?
Yeah.
It's just too hyped up, and then they end up watching it, and they're the ones that binge it. They're like, holy shit, the show is amazing.
Dude, and it amazes me that again, Better Call Saul is the same thing. Like with Lalo as a character too. Like Lalo gets introduced in season 3 at the end of season 3.
I like Lalo, yeah.
And
He's an interesting guy.
He was. And do you know like the origin of that with Breaking Bad, like the reason they introduced that character?
Is it because of Saul's first episode of Breaking Bad?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. No, see, that episode was called Better Call Saul.
Yep.
And then in Breaking, Saul's just like, is it Lalo Ignacio? Like, it's like, huh?
And that's the only time he ever said that name too.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
like I said, it just went full effect, man, and it was very satisfying ending.
Yeah.
With everything.
Is there any other shows you've watched? Like you watch a lot of TV shows at all?
I do, but at the moment I can't think of it because there's just so much content today, right?
Yeah.
It's either like I'll watch it and then forget about it, or I just keep watching reruns now of things.
Yeah. Reruns
It's
never hurt.
easier, man. Yeah.
I know plenty of people just throw on The Office and go about their lives, you know? That one's an easy one.
That took a big hit, though, with Peacock, because it used to be on Netflix until finally.
I know.
And then maybe that helped Peacock, though.
Probably.
Yeah.
It hurts me. There's so many different ones. I liked it better when there was just Netflix. It was easy to find everything. Now it's like, it's hard. If you want to watch a certain show, you have to have... Someone just told me about something on Showtime. Now, I forgot Showtime had one. It's just HBO, your Showtime, you got Disney Plus, you got Hulu, you got ESPN Plus if you want to actually be able to watch sports, because I guess people tell me it's hard to find sports sometimes now. All kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, but yeah, The Office moving over there. There's a couple shows. Again, Breaking Bad, that was Netflix.
Yeah. You ever seen Yellowstone?
I've heard about it.
Dude, the show's amazing.
Yeah.
But I've never seen it. It's just I know it's amazing.
Yellowstone.
I feel like there's
Is
going to be
it-
so many good shows people tell me to watch, and I'll know it's amazing, but I'll just never get to it, man.
That's why I like movies more. I
Yeah.
feel like shows are such an investment.
Movies are great.
Is there movies you like a lot?
I'm into mostly like comedy.
Yeah.
So even with movies, I just like watching a lot of old movies. Hey, but actually, my favorite movie of all time, they're making a sequel, Happy Gilmore 2.
Yeah.
Did you see that teaser trailer? That was fun.
I didn't see the teaser trailer.
Yeah, they just released it. I think
How
it was like
soon?
on Christmas.
Oh, it's just a few days ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh man, yeah. I'm getting excited. I mean, who knows? It's Adam Sandler, so
But it's his production, though.
exactly. But it could still be terrible.
It could. But the
yeah,
thing is, like,
it's like
I
a
would
nostalgia
I would
thing.
trust him to make that movie more than anybody else. That's
Yeah.
why I have hope for it, because who else is going to make that movie? It could only be Adam Sandler. He's the
yeah.
reason the first one worked. So
Happy Gilmore is.
it's a classic.
I love that movie.
At this point, it's just it lives on in infamy.
Oh, yeah.
That movie's so good. Yeah, all of Adam Sandler's original comedies, I feel like, are so great. I think Adam Sandler was really on a great roll.
I mean, I still watch a lot of his movies that he releases today,
Yep.
and for the most part, it's like they're bad, but they're worth watching. They're good.
Yeah.
but they're bad. I mean, yeah.
He's good at doing whatever he wants to do, and I
yeah.
think that's like I wish I'd seen more of his stand up, because he was even in Chicago when I visited before I lived here, and my mom and I had kids with us, and so she didn't want to bring kids to it. She was worried it was going to be inappropriate.
It was. I found one online on YouTube from the late '80s.
Yeah,
It was so funny.
he
for him.
has to be. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I imagine a lot of that same energy is what's in his movies.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like it's kind of like a bombastic, like goofy thing, he's being a little wild.
I do miss those kind of comedies, from just absurd comedies from the 80s and 90s.
I was going to ask you if you like comedies the most. Yeah, it must be the classic
Yeah, I
comedies.
like comedies. I like horror movies
Yeah.
too. Horror movies, though, like even really bad ones, can still be fun to watch.
Oh, yeah. There's kind of an appeal to it.
Yeah, I mean, you can still shit on it, but it's like, I don't regret watching that one. Right? Like, there's this movie called like Tarot or whatever.
Okay.
It's terrible.
Really bad?
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah.
It's like funny. And I'm like, I'm glad I watched this terrible horror movie just so now I can shit on it.
Sometimes you need those, you know. I feel like it's good wisdom to like make sure you watch some bad movies, make sure you listen to some bad songs, make sure you see some bad comedy, make sure you see all kinds of bad stuff.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you don't even realize the good stuff is good. Like, and the problem is like when something's so bad, you can't even handle it. Like there's different kinds of bad. Like there's some bad that's just bad.
It's always one thing I never liked is if I start a movie and I have to just stop it because it's bad, then that's, I hate doing that.
Me too.
So there always is something like that. Like,
I just had that experience where I was rewatching. I saw 21 Jump Street. I was rewatched that, and I actually saw it in theaters, which is that's cool because I must have been 12, or 14. Well, that'd be a great movie to see as a 14-year-old because it was just as good as I remember. It's a great movie. I'll stick to that. But 22 Jump Street, I remember I was watching that. I'm like, this is not what I remember it being. I thought 22 Jump Street was just as good as the first one, but it's not really the same thing. And so that kind of made me sad, and then I just turned the movie off, And I could finish it, but kind of broke my heart a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when you watch a movie and you have to turn it off because it was so bad.
Yeah.
It's like, damn it, I just wasted this many minutes of my life.
Yeah, TV shows, that's the worst of it, though. Because, again, the investment of time.
Yeah.
So let's say, like Game of Thrones, dude, I would never recommend it to anybody just because of how bad it ended. It's the best show of all time. It's comparable or better than Breaking Bad for the first season 1 through season 4. It's that good. It's so good. Like one of the best shows of all time. But then after that, it all falls apart. And it's because of the way that the show, like, it's all about the politics of the show. And, like, the writers got offered a job for Star Wars movies. And so they had to wrap the story up in a faster time span than they were supposed to. Like, the original plan was, like, 12 seasons, and they turned it into 8. And they just cut it all down. So they wanted to rush through the ending and do their Star Wars movie. That's most likely, that's what it really seemed like happened. And then the other part of it is it's all based on books, and the guy who wrote the books never finished the books.
Is this still not done yet?
He never finished the books, no.
Oh my God.
There's still, I think there's supposed to be 2 more, but maybe it's 1. Yeah.
Maybe he should, like, conclude it.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of people who feel that same way. Yeah, because he's taken a long time. And I think now he's helping with the HBO show.
Oh, that prequel one?
The prequel one. And also he helped write the game Elden Ring. He was involved in that game too. But anyway, yeah, he just never finished the books. And so he must have given them cliff notes and like told them this is how the show's going to end. Like these are just some little things I'm planning on doing. But really, guys, I don't know where this is all going to go. Like I'll give you this just because I know you need it. But just do your best. Please do my story some justice. And then it's one of the most atrocious endings I've ever seen in my life. Like, dude, I'm telling you, when I watched that, I was like, luckily I was at a point in my life where I could just binge watch something. So I watched the whole show within a week. So I went through all of that.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Dude.
It's inhuman.
Man.
But I'll tell you, those last couple of days, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, it was not the same thing. And I feel bad for the people who spent years watching that show because it was that good. The beginning is so good. And then it just becomes like the most generic thing you could possibly imagine. And like the actors make fun of it and like nobody involved in the production liked the way it ended. It's sad. It makes you want to cry because it's like it makes you appreciate again, you got to watch some bad things, right? It makes me appreciate how good Breaking Bad is. Like shows that do it right. I mean, The Sopranos is another great one. The Wire is another great one. I need to watch more like those legendary shows just to get them off the list. There's movies I haven't seen really either. Like Lord of the Rings, I haven't really seen those. Harry Potter, I haven't really seen those. I've seen so many clips of Harry Potter. It's on every Christmas if you look at a TV.
I never finished that the last Harry Potter movie. I never saw that one actually.
No,
I've seen it
but all the other ones.
Yeah.
Man, so you just have one to top it off. You only
I
have
don't
one
know.
left.
It's just like I remember the last Harry Potter movie, right? That one was like split in 2.
Yep.
So it's like I watched the second to last one, and the ending I was just like, oh come on, and then now I have to wait, and I don't know why I never got to it. But yeah, when you can't finish what you start, that becomes a little tedious.
Yeah.
Right?
It's just and then when you do finish it and it just isn't even that great. Like Dexter is another one that notoriously ended badly. that show, which was good at first. A lot of people liked the first few seasons of Dexter. I don't know if there's any other. Like, I didn't like the ending of Ozark. I did watch all of that show, and the first season's not bad. But it's just,
I saw season 1.
God. Season 1's not bad.
Oh, I really liked it. I just never.
Yeah, don't.
did it.
Just keep it at season 1. You'll be happier. It didn't go the way I thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
Season 1's actually pretty wild. Like, the way they ended season 1's fun.
Oh, yeah. I just hope that dude's okay.
Yeah, me too, man.
Yeah, the guy that got,
Shot in the head?
Yes.
Yeah.
You get it. Yeah.
Sorry, folks. Sorry about that spoiler
As long
there.
as they pick up a little bit and glue it back on.
I mean, if
You
you
can function.
you can figure that kind of thing out. It depends on where you get shot, right? If you, I would say. Let's do the
People
schematic.
survive from gunshot wounds.
People actually
every
do
day.
survive getting
Many
shot in the
people,
head.
yeah.
Can you
so-
believe that? You try to shoot yourself, you shoot yourself in the head, and you just end up mentally handicapped the rest of your life. That would be the worst
That's the
possible
worst.
fate.
Yeah.
That'd be the worst possible fate. You actually go through with it, and then you just screw yourself up forever. Because, like, that's why I don't even know how you would properly do it. Like, there's not very many good choices. Like, if you had to, there's not many good ones. Because it's like most of the ways. I mean, I have to imagine like the toaster in the bathtub would be pretty bad. Probably wouldn't be very fun. That probably would suck. You probably wouldn't die fast, right? Like that can't be good. Like I think that's why people tried the gun, because the gun's like the easy way. It's like the one where I can just do it and we're done.
Mm-hmm.
You can screw it up, but it's hard to screw up. Jumping must suck, because like jumping, you have to think about it on your way down. That's the problem. As you're falling, you're like, damn. Why did I do that?
Splat.
Yeah, you already decided it's too late.
Splash.
You always hear that from people who survive jumping. Like when they jump into a river, they survive. They always say on the way down, like, damn, on the way down, I realized maybe this isn't. Yeah, probably isn't the thing to do. I can't think of like other ways that you could even possibly do. You got any good ones for me?
Maybe everyone just needs a little exhilaration,
Yeah,
so they don't want to die. That
hopefully.
yeah.
Hopefully.
But it's hard to feel it when after you pull the trigger, I guess.
Yeah. Because then it's already. Well, I don't know. I don't know. It depends on the person, but I feel like people who even like face life-changing circumstances, you often hear the story where they're appreciative of life afterwards. I would wonder if that happens with people who like fail doing something like that. If they would actually appreciate life more because they survived. I bet that is like a phenomena you see a lot. Like something about that moment probably. I mean, you hear that with near-death experiences at the very least. Like people who get stabbed or in car accidents or all kinds of them, like plane accidents. Their life is forever changed because of what happened.
Exhilaration.
Yeah. I mean, life is crazy, man. Yeah. Have there been any like crazy life curveballs you got not too long in the past? Any curveballs thrown at you, or life been pretty cool lately?
Life's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just go with the flow,
Yeah.
Pretty much. I just want to. It's like you're at that point where you don't mind just chilling instead of wanting to go out every night, to, I don't know, get wasted. Yeah. Now you have every night to do that at home. Because it's cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah. Was it not always that way though? I feel like you could always kind of do it.
No,
at home.
I mean, whenever I go out on mic, I'm always, I'll have a drink or 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always been more of a smoker than a drinker. Don't know what it is. You more a drinker than a smoker? I've noticed a lot of the comics.
I used to smoke more.
Yeah.
And rarely ever drink.
Really? So
I mean, I did it once in a while, yeah, and then like, what is it like? It's like I'm on probation for a year.
Yeah.
Or was it 2 years? It was 2 years. So it's like, like it was for marijuana, right? Which I still think it's crazy because all this stuff is legal now.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's like I'm on probation, and like they randomly drug test you, so I can't smoke anymore. So I started drinking more. Because at the time, I know today with drug tests, they could actually test your piss for alcohol.
Wow.
They couldn't do it back then. This is only like, I don't know, 14 years ago when this happened. So, yeah.
I'm surprised they couldn't do it back then, because I thought that was always
They
a thing.
breathalyzed you.
Yeah.
Says just long as you didn't come with like alcohol in your system, you were fine.
Huh.
So, yeah, I mean, you weren't supposed to be drinking, but it's like, well, it's not going to show up on a drug test, right?
And weed would.
Boom. Oh yeah. And it's like I remember being on that probation though. It was for the most part it was a breeze, because they only like going after people who's like constantly failing drug tests.
Yeah.
As long as you're fine. It's like I had to see my probation officer once a month. I didn't even get tested like every month. It's like every other month. You just keep a cool low profile, and then boom, once you're done with that, you're free. Yeah.
But then you just never picked it back up again.
Oh no, I started smoking pot like crazy. Yeah,
Oh,
way more. Yeah, I've toned it down though.
Yeah. I mean, it comes in waves for me. That's how it always happens. Like sometimes I'm like, wow, this being sober is not so bad. What was that all about? It all washes over me.
Yeah, no, but I remember like when I was like forced to stop smoking that, it was pretty rough.
Yeah. People don't like to mention like how if you smoke often, it's not easy to stop. Like if you're one of those people that's like doing it every day,
Yeah.
to actually stop is difficult.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Even with did you experience trouble sleeping?
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's like super common. And when that first happened to me, I didn't even know it was the marijuana. I was like, what is happening to me right now? Because I had probably done it from when I was 14, and then commonly from when I was like 17 up until about 19 or 20, 21, right? So like when I stopped one point in 21, I just couldn't sleep. I was like, what is going on here? Like, what even is this? And then I didn't know what it was. And then afterwards I was going through a breakup, so I assumed it was my heartbreak. I just couldn't sleep because I had all this heartbreak. And truly, that's what I thought it was. Yeah. And then a year and a half later, I took another like big tolerance break. I just stopped smoking entirely, and then boom, I couldn't sleep again. And then I connected the dots.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, so. And then I looked it up, and there's a sleep doctor named Matthew Walker, where you can find a couple clips of him like explaining the science behind it. But it's a real thing. Like he's a guy who studies sleep, and so he explains it way better than I ever could. But it's the same thing that happens with alcohol. Like weed makes your brain sleep. It helps you fall asleep, but it doesn't really help you get like proper sleep. Your brain's not going through the cycle it's supposed to be going through.
Yeah, I mean any withdrawal, kind of like just fucks your brain up.
Yeah, and what happens? I think
at you all the time.
Yeah, all the time in ways you wouldn't expect, because your body developed like an adaptation to whatever that thing was. Do you remember any other like your weed symptoms that made it rough other than the sleep thing?
It was sleep related. Same with even like smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
It's like I cold turkey cigarettes, like nicotine in general.
Yeah.
It was.
How long did you smoke for?
So it's been almost 2 years since I stopped. Probably about like 16 years.
And you just stopped all of a sudden?
Yeah, it was. Man, no, it was rough though.
I bet.
First 11 days, it was hell.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was. And then,
How so? Like what did you experience?
Dude, your body just feels weird. I mean, you're going through a drug withdrawal, right? Nicotine's the drug, plus all that poison that you would consume, too. That's just like your body's kind of like clearing itself up, and then like definitely moody for sure. It's just like if you smoke pot constantly and then you just stop, you get that moodiness. But even when you're like going to sleep, and then you just wake up randomly in the middle of the night. Your brain's just like, what are you doing? And like, I kind of feel like I had like, I don't know, my body was like shaking a little bit because of the withdrawal.
Damn.
Which is, it's really weird. But that and especially, like a lot of people who smoke cigarettes, they definitely like to have a smoke after a meal. So that too, right there. And because you did such a routine for so long. You just have to break that whole habit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you just sheer willpower, just mental fortitude? That's how you did it?
Pretty much.
Wow.
I could use that willpower for a lot of things in life, though.
So I think that kind of stuff really helps you a lot, though, with teaching you that you can overcome stuff like that. Is like you learn, like, okay, so if I can conquer cigarettes, I can conquer all sorts of other problems in my life. But that's a hard step to take.
Oh, yeah.
Cigarettes it's not as common as it used to be with like the younger generation, it seems like we're getting addicted to vapes now instead of cigarettes.
That's why even
might be
when
more
I was
alarming.
like, no more cigarettes, I was like considering even buying vapes, but I'm like, no, I can't do that.
It's just
Like,
it's
I
a
was
gateway into
considering
vaping.
smoking cigars.
Yep.
Like, nope, it doesn't work like that. It's just got to be cold turkey, man.
That's a good way to do it, man. Because really, like, you don't want to give yourself an out. Some people, the people who go, because you'll even hear Cali sober versus like full sober, where like Cali sober means I can smoke weed, whereas sober means I don't do anything.
Yeah.
I feel like Cali sober is not even sober. If you ask me, like if you want to be completely sober, you can't be doing any psychoactive drugs. It just can't be. That's what real sobriety is. But I mean, yeah, any of it's hard. I think your brain just naturally relies on experience. It's habitual in nature. And so like, even if weed isn't super duper physically addictive, of course it's mentally addictive. And cigarettes become both, like they're physically addictive, but it's also, like you said, smoking after a meal, just the habit of doing things like, oh, when I'm at work, I go out for a smoke break. I always do that. I'm just never going to do that anymore.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah. But I'm like, by now, it's fine.
You haven't even tempted yourself with those Zyn pouches and all that stuff you'll hear about now?
I haven't, yeah. But I mean, it's like when it comes to addiction, though, I think of wanting a cigarette constantly.
Oh, yeah.
A lot, yeah.
Never really goes away.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's kind of like you just take a big sigh. And then you just move forward with that.
Accept your decisions.
I wish, but nah.
Yeah.
It's just like
Temptation.
Yeah.
It's the devil's work, man.
Oh yeah.
The devil's calling to you with each cigarette, each puff, telling you, what would Jesus do? He wouldn't smoke cigarettes.
Yeah,
That's
man.
my guess. I'm
I
guessing
know.
like no God in any culture was puffing on Marlboros.
True pain, right? True pain.
Maybe though. Maybe God does say smoke cigarettes and we're all wrong. He's like, actually, I made those guys for you. Like I made them for you. Why are you not smoking it?
Yeah.
What else do they even use tobacco for? Anything? What is it? There's got to be some other use for tobacco other than smoking. It's a good question now that I think about it.
They use them for cigars.
Yeah. Other than
I don't know.
burning
Man.
it.
That's
Maybe that's the mystery for today's episode. The people in the comments will tell me about all the things tobacco is used for. They'll be like, hey guys, we Googled it for you. Here it is. One of these days, this show's going to have enough of a budget where I'll have a dude who sits over there and he'll type everything in and look it up for us as we talk, and he'll pull things up on the screen. It'll be awesome. That's why we got a Patreon, folks, all right? And this guy told me beforehand, if you guys subscribe to the Patreon, he'll personally reveal his feet on there. He'll take his shoes off. I'll take HD photos with my camera, and that will be... Right? You did say that, right?
I'll do it. No.
See, he said yeah.
I don't know anymore at this point.
Sounds like a yes
Do
to
it
me.
for the Patreon, though. Right?
Exactly. It's like an OnlyFans, but better because it's a community, okay?
Yeah.
This is the second time I've promised foot photos with a guest. The first was Ron Bloom. The second is you. So now I'm going to have like a foot catalog.
Patreons are the what is it? Family friendly OnlyFans.
It kind of is. It actually kind of is.
I wonder how far someone can go with a Patreon.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. Like, that's one of the things about podcasts. Like, I recommend, if you are somebody who, like, you feel like you could do it, you should do a podcast. I tell anybody this. I've said it since I started this thing. It's kind of like why I did it. Because there's going to be a natural thing that happens. Like, if you do it right, certain people will gravitate towards you. You'll find your people, right? So, like, and you just naturally do it. So whatever you do with your podcast or whatever your show is about, you'll bring whatever you bring to that, and then maybe it'll be your own solo show, or maybe you'll bring on guests, but somehow it'll become a thing. Like if you just go for it, it'll become something. And also that lane of whatever you're doing, there's always room for you to attract people with the podcast. Because, okay, the other way I think about everything with like content and podcasts and all of this, it's all like an entrance point for you to figure out what I'm doing and who I am and to be comfortable with me and to be cool with it, right? You hear one song I do, you're like, oh, this guy, he's cool. He made a cool song. You hear another song I do, it's the same thing. But I never know which song you're going to hear first. I never know which video you're going to see first, which podcast. And so by doing podcasts with guests and all of that, it just expands that web of influence you could possibly have exponentially, because everybody knows everybody, and like, you know, you meet so many people along the way. It gives you so many opportunities, but also it's a way for people who might just follow you on social media. They just see you sometimes. Now they get to know you and get to see who you really are. So it's a great idea. I really do recommend it. And like, but it also, it's its own undertaking. It is a thing. It is like a whole thing you'd have to do. Some comedians are really good at it. I don't know if you like Tim Dillon at all, but he does a solo show. Bill Burr, he's done a solo show for a long time. A long time. He's probably one of the longest going. Mark Maron is like one of the OGs. He would be Mark Maron, Joe Rogan, of course. Like those guys have been doing it for, 15 years? But I was going to, why did I bring that up? Something about, there was a reason I brought it up, just because it's a great opportunity, I guess. There was a reason I was going to say that. I can't remember what it was. Yeah, I lost it. Something good about podcasts, though.
It'll be back.
Yeah, it'll come back.
It'll be back.
Yeah, it is but it is like, I think it's like, it just all goes with the, getting to know people too. Like, you know, you have to feel things out and get to know people, and like, that's part of the fun. That's part of the process, is doing that all the time. And like, open mics force you into it. Like, there's certain things you can do to get yourself in that mindset, and like,
always,
and like figure out how other people do things, because it's not something you could all do by yourself. You know, you can only figure out so much with your own mind frame, and everybody works differently, you know. Yeah. Man, I wish I could remember what I was gonna say. I hate it because like, this is probably like a good point to end the episode, and it's just gonna end on me forgetting you know what's gonna happen is, once we're done filming here, I'm gonna go back, I'll be like, that's what I was gonna say. That thing about the podcast thing.
That's how you ended.
That's rewinded?
No, that's how you end it.
That's how I end it, is just being
that's
upset.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's
you just
what
don't know. Yeah.
Once he leaves, I turn the mic back on. I'm like, guys, by the way, the point I was making was, I'm sure it was super important. I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
But all right, man. Tell the people where they can find you, what your name is, your social media, all that good stuff. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Is when you do a podcast, it's good because people see you in a way that they wouldn't normally see you, right? Maybe that's what I was gonna say, but that's what I'll say now, because I think that's what happens when we do this. Like this conversation we just had just now, people get to know what Dan Lee's like when they hang out and they just chill with them. And that's like what people like, dude. They'll see you at a show, they'll be like, yo, that guy's cool. And then it's like the thing I said about entry points. Like, people find ways to be comfortable with you. They see you do one thing once, and they're like, oh, that's that guy from that thing. Like, and there's a million different ways. Even just some random thing that you do that you didn't even think that much of at one open mic, that's how you got introduced to so-and-so. And ever since, he's been keeping an eye on you.
That's where I met you.
Exactly, dude. And that's like how I met you. I met you when you just came up and talked with me and Jake that one time. That's the impression that was made upon me one day. And then from that point on, now I know you. And I saw you perform the next time. Like, oh, okay. Yeah. He really is about that life. So yeah, man. And like, I just, if anything, like the general message of that whole thing is just put yourself out there, you know? Like, it just always make sure to keep doing it. And I'm sure the people have heard that one a million times, but it really is true, guys. I mean, if you don't find ways to do that, you'll go crazy. It'll just naturally happen. You'll reach a breaking point. You got to find something for yourself. And maybe it's comedy, maybe it's music, maybe it's anything. Maybe it's podcasting.
True.
Maybe it's just talking to your cat sometimes for fun. I mean, maybe that's what it is. I wouldn't judge you. Maybe some people have 30 cats, and that's cool too. But yeah, man, where do they find you? And final message you want to send them home with? The floor is yours.
Yeah, I am Dan Lee, or Daniel Lee is how I always sign up on the list. You can find me at your local open mic. I should probably attend more, but that's where I'll be. that's pretty much it, though. Yeah.
What's the like Instagram, the social media?
Oh, Instagram is Dan JY Lee. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, boy.
Give that a follow. And Parabellum.
Radio. Clocking out. Got the world in my pocket, got a girl on my arm, got an eye in my socket, whirlwinds in my palms. I'm a free man, let me lead you along. I can show you something different, let me sing you a song. Ain't no algorithm touch me, ain't no palace this lovely. I find a way to find a way out.